the 30th, I think.
Yes.
Thursday the 30th, 2025. So the day after my Gurudev's Abhirbhav, we'll be going to our Ramananda Samvada. But I wanted to sing one particular bhajan yesterday, but because Shama and Radhadasi had their beautiful presentation, I declined and didn't do it. So today I'm going to sing for my beloved Gurudev, Gurudev Kripa Korake. And first of all, I'd like to read the translation of this beautiful bhajan. Gurudev, have mercy on me. So we should be considering what sort of mercy we actually desire. Gurudev, have mercy on me. Make me your own, this Vishram Vaseva. I fall before you, taking shelter of you. Please grant me a place at your feet. This is what we were praying for yesterday. Your name is the repository of compassion. Kindly shower me with that. O Master, rouse my sleeping fortune. My boat is caught in a whirlpool. Kindly rescue me. This is our predicament. You are an ocean of happiness and the nurturer of devotion. You are always on my mind. You are more dear to me than life itself. Incessantly, I chant your name. Kindly forget my faults. I want Gurudev to forget my faults, so I should make sure that I'm forgetting anyone else's faults that I may consider. I am a servant of the Vaishnavas and am forever sold at the feet of my Guru. O Master, please do not forget me, who am all alone in this world. I am a beggar at your door. What is the qualification of a beggar? He has nothing. He has nothing. If we have that feeling of no possessions, akinchana, that is our qualification. Please do not let your heart forget me. So this is the desire of the sadhak on such a day as yesterday in particular, of the Abhirbhav. So we'll sing this song. Gurudev Kripa Korake Mujhko apna lena. Gurudev Kripa Korake Mujhko apna lena. Main sarana pada teri चरणों में जगा देना. मैं शरण पड़ा तेरी चरणों में जगा देना. चरणों में जगा देना. चरणों में जगा देना. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. करुणा निधि नाम तेरा करुणा बरसाओ तुम. करुणा निधि नाम तेरा करुणा बरसाओ तुम. सोए हुए भाग्य को हे नाथ जाओ तुम. भाग्य को नाथ जगाओ तुम. हे नाथ जगाओ तुम. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. मेरी नाव बगरा डोले इस पार लगा देना. bahara dole, usse para laga dena, usse para laga dena. Gurudev kripa karke, mujhko apna lena. Gurudev kripa karke, mujhko apna lena. Tum sukhe ke sagara ho, bhakti ke sahare ho. तुम सूखे के सागरा हो, बाकी के सहारे हो. मेरे मन में समायो, मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो. मेरे मन में समायो, मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो. प्राणों से प्यारे हो, प्राणों से प्यारे हो. नितमाला जपू तेरी, मेरी दोषा बुलाने ना. नितमाला जपू तेरी, मेरी दोषा बुला देना. कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. मैं संतों का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरण का दासा हूँ. मैं संतों का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरण का. नहीं नाचा बुलाना मुझे, जिसे जग में अकेला हो. नहीं नाचा बुलाना मुझे, जिसे जग में अकेला हो. इसे जग में अकेला हो, इसे जग में अकेला हो. तेरी द्वार का भिखारी हो, नहीं दिल से बुला देना. तेरी द्वार का भिखारी हो, नहीं दिल से बुला देना. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. मैं संत परे तेरी चरणों में जगा देना. शरण पड़ा तेरी चरणों में जगा देना. चरणों में जगा देना. चरणों में जगा देना. गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना. गुरुदेव कृपा. जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Gaura Hare Bol. Jaya Radha, Madana Mohan Radha, Madana Mohan Radhe. Jaya Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jaya Nityananda Rai. Oh Jaya Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Ganhabhika Kiridhare Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Brishabala Nandini Bhajeshwari Radharani Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gaura Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Bharantaracharya Ki Jai Jai Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shri Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai Arupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Jai Swarup Damodar Raya Ramananda Gaura Prasadi Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Om Agnati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Sadanti Swam Padantikam Priya Surupe, Daita Surupe, Prema Surupe, Sahaja Rupe, Nijana Rupe, Pabueka Rupe, Tatana Rupe, Swabila Surupe, Anapitachirim Chirat Kuranabadi Tinokala, Samadapaitam Unnata Ujwala Rasam Swabhakti Shriya, Hari Purata Sundaratu Tikatamba Satipita, Sadahridare Kandare Spuratu Vasachinandanaha, Yam Prabhajantamana Petiam Apeti Krityam, Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava, Putre Titam Mayatayo Tarabo Benedustam Sarabhabutam Hridim Munimanatoshmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparara Lakshay Shiptas Chakarmadita Rangamadye Kripamai tvam sharanam prapana brinde namaste charanarvindam Bhajami radam aravinda netram smarami radam madhurasmitasyam Vadami radam karuna baradram tato mamarasti katina kapi Tavaivasmi najivami tvaivina iti vignaya radhe tvam nayamam charanantikam. And first of all, offering millions and millions of Anbar pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Asto Tadasada Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again, millions and millions of times, unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nitya Leela Pravishta Om, Asto Tadasada Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And again, unto the lotus feet of our dearmost Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. And to all the Rupanuga Guru Varga and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of them. Vanchakalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, yesterday we were glorifying Sri Guru to give us the kripa to at least hear these truths about Mahaprabhu's opening his heart to receiving Sakhi Bhav. Sakhi Bhav means Radha Bhav from Ramananda Rai. By this connection, we understand Ramananda Rai Vishaka. Vishaka so close to Sri Radhika, born at the same moment as Sri Radhika. So Mahaprabhu wants to wake up this potential to taste Sri Radha's mood, to embody Sri Radhika. Her bhav, her moods, and her complexion are there in potential in Mahaprabhu. Shyam Sundar, Brajendranandan. But he desires to take the role of the Ashraya, to serve the Vishnu. So he wants to taste the sweetness of serving himself through the efforts of Sri Radhika. Radhika, every atom of her being is only made of desire to please and pacify Krishna's calm, to serve Sri Krishna. So Mahaprabhu wants that mood of the Ashraya. And by this meeting, this very sacred meeting with Ramananda Rai, that dormant, that potentiality is waking up. Because prior to this, we've already explained, in Navadvip Dham, Mahaprabhu was more in a mood of Shamras, even though he was tasting Mahabhav during the Ras Leela pastimes at Srivasangam, no doubt. My Gurudev has explained like this, otherwise it wouldn't be Vrindavan, it wouldn't be the same as Vrindavan if that experience of Mahabhav hadn't been there in the heart of Krishna as Mahaprabhu. So he's tasting that in that Sankirtan Ras. But the Ruda and Adi Ruda that Sri Radhika experiences, particularly in her separation moods, this is being woken up now by Ramananda Rai. Fully. Mahaprabhu doesn't, he's Krishna himself directly, but he doesn't know all the moods of Sri Radhika, the Ashraya. He doesn't know that he has those three desires. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishova Naiva Svadyena Vidat Madhurima Kidrishova Madhya Sokyam Kasyam Mad Anubhavat Kidrisham Vetilobat Tad Bhavadya Samajani Sachigarbo Sindhu Harindu. To taste understand the glories of Radhika's love. He doesn't, as Krishna, he appreciates Sri Radhika to such a magnitude that she can control him. But at the same time, what is that mood within Radhika that is able to control him? And what is that bliss that Sri Radhika experiences, which is actually billions, millions of times greater than the bliss that Brajendranandan Shyam Sundar experiences himself? We said so many times, Krishna will taste up to the degree of Mahabhav. But Sri Radhika goes beyond that to Rudha and Adi Rudha. This is higher. These Sattvika bhavs are blazing fully. This Adiruddha bhav, all Sattvika bhavs are blazing. So Brajendraనందన్ wants to taste that. And this conversation is waking this up. So Mahaprabhu has been walking through all the different options on what is the ultimate reality in life, because we're going to come to this Prem Vivart Vilas, or Prem Vilas Vivart. What is the nature of Prem? This illusion of Prem, when Radhika will run and embrace a tamal tree. Krishna is astonished when he's seeing that in Vrindavan. Radhika racing to taste that illusion of Krishna being a tamal tree. Krishna is astonished. Radhika sees a peacock feather. She faints, she trembles, faints. So Krishna is desirous to taste that extreme bliss that Radhika experiences, which is higher than the bliss that he's experiencing. So all this is coming to light by this dialogue with Ramananda Rai. Now we've already been through the sadhya, and now we're discussing how to serve the sadhya. And the conclusion is that only under the guidance of the Sakhis, anugatya of the gopis of Vrindavan, can we attain even a fragrance of that bliss. So we are desirous for that under the tutelage of Sri Guru, who is in his Manjari form. All the Guru Varga are there. So this is our anugatya, this is our path that we're following. Ultimately the path of Rupa Goswami. So we are Rupanugas. We are all following the path of Rupa Goswami. Simultaneously, we are Rag Anugas, following the path of Rag Marg, not Vaidhi Marg. So this has all been explained. So now we come to page 203 in our book, and we actually chanted this beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-60 on Tuesday. And I'll just read the translation again, and then we'll read the Kri, and we'll carry on. So at the time of the festival of Ras Leela, Bhagavan Sri Krishna enfolded his arms around the necks of the gopis of Braj and fulfilled all their desires. The mercy and prem that he bestowed upon those gopis was never enjoyed even by the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. So this is mentioned many times in comparison to Lord Narayan or Vaikuntha Bhav. This is going beyond there. Because remember, prior to Mahaprabhu, most practitioners were focused on moksha. And if not moksha, then Vaikuntha. How did they know about Brajaras and Braja Prem until Mahaprabhu advented? How did they know about it? They didn't. This is why this Kali Yuga, Danya Kali Yuga, it's so exceptional. Lakshmi Devi, who is the eternal loving consort of Bhagavan and who always resides on his chest, nor was such a boon achieved by the most beautiful heavenly damsels, whose bodily luster are like a lotus flower. What to speak of the beautiful women of this world? Now the commentary. The Braja Gopis are glorified everywhere because of their above mentioned Adiruddha Bhav. This Adiruddha Bhav, I've said many times, is when the 8 Astasatvika Bhavs are blazing. The very elements of the body, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, they are impacted by the emotional euphoria that is experienced in exchanges. For example, the earth will manifest a mood of stamba, it's described. That means being completely stunned. Tears will come in the eyes, water. This is ashru. This is one of the Astasatvika Bhav. Then fire, Vaivarnya and Sveda Bhav. This perspiration and change of color. And then earth, water, fire, air, then pralaya, ether. This is when practically it's close to death. It's not death, but it's very close to death, this pralaya. And then is the final, it's described as sky. And this is Romancha, Kampa, and Svedaved. These 8 Ashtasattvika bhavs that are blazing. So this is the quality, the speciality of Adiruddha Mahabhav. In Rudha Adibhav, 5 of these 8 moods or bhavs are blazing, 5 of them. Now in Adiruddha, all 8 of these simultaneously are being impacted by the emotional exchange. So Romancha is horripilation, then Kampa is trembling, and Swarbade is faltering of the voice. So it's helpful for us to appreciate this nature, because this is a speciality that Mahaprabhu, as Radha, wants to experience. He wants to experience specifically this Adiruddha Mahabhav, which becomes Madanakya Mahabhav or Mohan Akya. Mohan is in separation, Mohan and Modan. These are the separation. Mohan is the 5 blazing Sattvika bhavs, and Modan is 5, and Mohan is 8. So we have Madan and Mohan. Madan, Mohan. This is meeting and separation. So my Gurudev continues. The Braj Gopis are glorified everywhere because of their above-mentioned Adiruddha Bhav. Yet for Sri Lakshmi Devi, who always resides upon the chest of the Lord of Vaikuntha, Sri Narayan, there is no such example of her exalted good fortune. In the same way, despite being the source of all incarnations, Sri Krishna performed actions which society and common man regard as low class, such as cow grazing, eating with monkeys and cowherd boys, stealing butter and yogurt, and clutching at and stealing the clothes of young girls. This is Krishna's veneer. This is his covering to take away any mood of Aishwarya. This is how Nanda Baba was reciprocating with the Gopas when they proclaimed after Govardhan Hill, we think your son is God. We think Krishna is the Supreme Personality. Nanda Baba laughed so much. He said that you Gopas, you don't produce you don't lose your milk teeth until you're 80 years old. In other words, you're quite unintelligent. How can he be God when he steals butter, when he cries, when he does, he constantly performing so many naughty acts? God doesn't do, God is dharmic, like Lord Ram presented, is Maryad. No, Krishna is acting like this. So again, Yogamaya covers the gopis. So Krishna can be in the mood of Mugdata, forgetting that he's God. But he's Sarva Gyan simultaneously. He's both. Yet still he is glorified everywhere and has achieved the utmost limit of exaltedness. Likewise, although the Brajagopis are non-different from Bhagavan's own self, because they're his Shaktis, his direct Shaktis, being the crown jewel of his pleasure-giving potency, Hladini Shakti, Shri Radhika is the queen of that Hladini Shakti. They are renowned as ladies of the forest dwelling community, cowherd community, who decorate their bodies with the harsh words used against them by society. Society will condemn them as those licentious milkmaids of Vrindavan, which, because they gave up their marriage vows, regards them as being of low character. All of these contradictions need to be fully, peacefully reconciled within the heart of the sadhak. Fully, fully, fully. Not even a flavor, not even a scent of doubt to go forward, understanding the absolute glories of the Sakis. Even so, the good fortune that the Braj Gopis have attained is still far more exalted than that of Lakshmi and other beloveds of Bhagavan. So Bul, Neel, these Shaktis in Vaikuntha, Neel, Bul, Shri, these three prominent Shaktis, even higher than those, higher than Lakshmi Devi, are the Braja Gopis, the Braja Ramanis. Despite being the one and only beloved of Sri Narayan and always situated on his chest, Lakshmi is still not able to receive the good fortune of the Braja Gopis. So they're higher than Lakshmi Dev, Lord Narayan. If even Lakshmi cannot achieve such good fortune, then what to speak of the wives of other incarnations of Bhagavan, such as Sri Upendra, who have attained great beauty and good fortune, and whose bodily fragrance and luster are just like those of the lotus flower. Arundhati, Anasuya, Saraswati, all these most chaste celestial ladies, all are honoring the Braja Gopis, the Braja Ramanis. In the Ras Leela festival, the Braja Gopis, when embraced by the arms of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, became exclusive recipients of the utmost limit of exalted and merciful good fortune. So much higher than anybody else. So we're going to chant these next about 10 verses, but I'm going to explain after each verse. I'll give the translation, and then we'll hear the whole translation together. We'll break it down, reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita simultaneously. So you can carry on. Eta Suni.
232.
Actually, it's 233, by the way, if you're following.
Eta shuni prabhu tare kaila alingana dui jane gala gali karena krandana.
After hearing this, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Ramananda, and both of them, embracing shoulder to shoulder, began to cry. It's going to be explained that this crying is a sattvika bhav that they're both experiencing at that time. That ashru, that water element, is being impacted. Okay.
E mata prema veshe ratri gonaila prata kale nija nija karye duhe gela.
The entire night was passed in this way, in ecstatic love of Godhead. In the morning, they both departed to tend to their respective duties.
Vidaya samaye prabhur charan dariya Ramananda Rai kahe vinati koriya.
Before departing from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai fell to the ground and caught hold of the Lord's lotus feet. He then spoke submissively as follows.
More kripa korite tomar ihan agamana dina dasha rahi shoda mora dushtamana.
Sri Ramananda Rai said, "You have come here just to show me your causeless mercy. Therefore stay here for at least 10 days and purify my polluted mind."
Toma vina anya nahi jiva uddharite Toma vina anya nahi Krishna prema dite.
But for you there is no one who can deliver all the living entities. For you alone can deliver love of Krishna.
Prabhu kahe ailana shuni tomar guna Krishna kata shuni shuddha karayite mana.
The Lord replied, "Having heard about your good qualities, I have come here. I have come to hear about Krishna from you, and thus purify my mind."
Eche sunilun taiche dekilun tomar mahima Radha Krishna prema rasa jnanera tumi sima.
Now that I have actually seen your glories, what I heard about you is confirmed. As far as the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in a loving mood are concerned, you are the limit of knowledge. And there's a purport by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I'll read here just a few lines. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found Ramananda Roy to be the best authority in transcendental knowledge of the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. In this verse, the Lord actually states that Ramananda Roy was the limit of this knowledge.
Dashadiner khakata yavat ami jiba tavat tomar sanga chadite nariba.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued to say nothing of 10 days. As long as I live, I shall find it impossible to give up your company.
Nirachale tumi ami takiba ek sange suke gunai ba kala Krishna kata range.
You and I shall remain together at Jagannath Puri. We shall pass our time together in joy, talking about Krishna and his pastimes.
Eta bali duhe nija karya gela sandhya kale rai puna ashiya milila.
In this way, they both departed to perform their respective duties. Then in the evening, Ramananda Rai returned to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Anyonye mili duhe nibrite vashiya prashnottara goshtika he anandita hana.
Thus they met time and time again, sitting in a secluded place and jubilantly discussing devotional service by the question and answer process.
Prabhu puche Ramananda karena uttara ye mata sheratre kata paraspara.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the questions and Sri Ramananda Rai gave the answers. In this way, they were engaged in discussion throughout the night. So now I'm going to read the translation of all of these Bengali shlokas together, collectively. After hearing this most unprecedented Rasa Siddhanta, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became overjoyed and embraced Sri Ramananda Rai. Each embraced the neck of the other, and both of them began to weep. They passed the entire night in this manner, absorbed in discussions and overwhelmed by ecstatic praying. In the morning they departed, so as to tend to their respective duties. When it came time to part from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sriman Ramananda Roy caught hold of the Lord's lotus feet and spoke with extreme humility, saying, "O Lord, you have come here just to bestow your mercy upon me. Therefore, please stay here for at least 10 days and purify my polluted mind. Other than you, there is no one who can deliver this jiva, and you alone can give love of Krishna." Upon hearing Sri Ramananda Rai's humble and love-filled words, Sriman Mahaprabhu said, "Having heard about your good qualities from the mouth of Sri Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I have come here to hear about Krishna from you, and thus purify my mind. Now I am seeing your glories." Both of them are immersed in humble moods, in the moods of humility, both of them. This is the nature, the quality of prem. Prem and humility are synonymous, we've said many times. And pride and envy are synonymous. That's the contrary, the antithesis of that. But prem, humility. So here we have Ramananda Rai's humility and Mahaprabhu's humility. "Now I am seeing your glories, which before I had only heard about. You are the most learned in the tattvas of Sri Radha, Sri Krishna, Prem, and Ras. What to speak of 10 days? I will not be able to leave you throughout my whole life. We will remain together in Jagannath Puri, where we shall spend our time happily, completely delighted by speaking Krishna Katha." So now Mahaprabhu's desires to fulfill his innermost desire, to taste Radha Bhav as the Ashraya in the company of Vishaka Devi, and eventually back in Jagannath Puri, the company of Lalita Sakhi in Swarup Damodar. So these two personalities would be the only ones that would be there in the Gambhira. So Gadadhar Pandit is staying in Tota Gopinath temple. Gadadhar Pandit is directly Sri Radhika, but she could not possibly come in to that confidential discussion, because then Mahaprabhu would lose his mood of Radha Bhav. If Sri Radha was sitting there directly as Gadadhar Pandit, how could Mahaprabhu himself immerse himself in her mood? That would be impossible. My Gurudev gives the example, like if a young man in a village has just become married, He's been married for 6 months, and then his wife dies. And the whole village comes to commiserate with him and give him their sympathies, except for one woman whose husband has also just recently died. She knows the pain of separation, just as Gadadhar Pandit knows the pain of separation from Krishna. So Gadadhar Pandit cannot support Mahaprabhu in that way. Actually, we know the way Gadadhar Pandit supports Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu will go every day to the Tota Gopinath Mandir. Mahaprabhu manifested this Tota Gopinath deity as non-different from himself, put in the hands of Gadadhar Pandit to worship. Gadadhar was so anxious to perform seva to Gopinath. Mahaprabhu gave him Gopinath. Simultaneously, he gave him Lalita and Radha herself in their murti forms, blackish. So every day Mahaprabhu would come to the Tota Gopinath temple and listen to the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Gadadhar Pandit. And at night he would come back to the Gambhira in the company of Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy and relish those verses that he'd heard from the mouth, lotus-like mouth of Gadadhar Pandit during the day. And it's described actually that all of Srimad Bhagavatam Mahaprabhu would hear with great relish. He would hear Dhruva Charita, he would hear Prahlad Charita, he would hear all these different pastimes, Ajamil, etc., from all of the Bhagavatam with great relish and happiness. And he would come back in the evening, and in the company of Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar, he would relish those moods that he had acquired from associating with Gadadhar Pandit. But Gadadhar himself, herself, could never come into the Gambhira, ever, at any time. Speaking thus, they both went away to perform their respective duties, and again at dusk, Sri Ramananda Roy came to meet with Mahaprabhu. After greeting each other, they went to a solitary place and sat down. With great happiness, they began to ask each other questions and receive answers. Sriman Mahaprabhu asked the questions, and Ramananda Roy answered them. In this way, the entire night passed in discussion. This is the way that the Bhasyas are composed. All the different Govinda Bhasya, etc., they're composed of questions and answers, questions and answers, questions and answers. This is how knowledge is enumerated in the Shastras, by questions and answers. So this is the same format that Ramananda Roy is going to follow with Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu will be asking the questions, and Mahaprabhu will be listening to the answers. When the passage explains that they were weeping, it actually means they were both affected by sattvika bhavs. This is what we just explained previously. For that reason, their throats were choked. And because their discussions, that's swabhed, we said in the final sattvika bhav. There are 5 degrees of intensity in the sattvika bhavs. There's domyata, which means like smoldering. Then there's jwalita, which means there is some fire is coming. And then there's dipta, udipta, and sudipta. Udipta, dipta, and sudipta. These 5 stages of intensity. We should mark this, because this is what Mahaprabhu wants to taste. He wants to taste this Ruda and Adiruda Mahabhav. So what does that mean? So devotees should be knowledgeable of what it means. It's not difficult. And because their discussions were full of prema, both of them began to cry. Here, Goshti, or meeting, particularly refers to the conversation between them. So this is the conclusion of this section of Ramananda Roy under the guidance of the Sakhis. And I would encourage you all to read this numerous times to catch up what is our abhideya, what is our method of practice to achieve the sadhya, which we heard in the previous chapter, the description of Prem Vilas Vivart, or Prem Vivart Vilas, either way. So understand the sequence, the structure of this Ramananda Roy Samvada. And now we're coming practically to the final conclusion of the questions and answers. So we'll begin from the first So what is the topmost knowledge? So, Ilva?
प्रभु कहे कौन विद्या विद्या मध्य सार राय कहे कृष्ण भक्ति बिना विद्या नहीं यार
Sriman Mahaprabhu asked, of all types of knowledge, which is the most important? Ramananda Rai replied, Krishna Bhakti is the essence of all knowledge. Apart from this, there is no other type of knowledge. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, commentary now. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained that in the first line, Mahaprabhu asks a question, and in the second line, Sri Ramananda Rai gives the answer. Mahaprabhu asked, which type of knowledge is the topmost? And Rai replied, apart from knowledge of Krishna Bhakti, there is no other knowledge. This means that although the jiva is an eternal servant of Sri Krishna, because of Sri Krishna's external or illusory potency, the jiva forgets his constitutional position and considers his temporary gross body to be his eternal identity. This is also described in Jivadhamma in the first and second chapters. It's called Nishag, this illusion about my identity. And the beautiful example is given of a block of ice. If we can imagine water to have consciousness, which it has, if the block of ice has been frozen in the Antarctic, for example, an iceberg, then if you ask its identity, it will consider itself hard. It's been a block of ice for centuries. It's been hard for many, many years. We have also been in this material consciousness for many, many years. We consider ourselves to be this material body. But just like the block of ice, if a warm current comes of Guru's mercy, that block of ice will melt to its original swabhav, its original nature of liquid. It'll come back to its original swabhav. Similarly, if the warm current of Gurudev's mercy touches our hearts, they will melt and we'll come back to our original swabhav, our original nature. Jivera Surup Hoy Krishnera Nityadas, an eternal servant of Krishna. So this Nishag has been covering us. This is a very beautiful word which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives us in the Jivadhamma. That knowledge about how to become situated in one's pure eternal form from such a condition, yes, how do we get out of that condition of Nishag? And to realize one's nature as being a servant of Krishna. This constitutes sadhan. This is sadhan. But as we said before, the sadhan has to be focused on bhav. If sadhan is not being focused on bhav bhakti, the sadhan bhakti is actually zero, because what is the sadhan focused on then? Liberation, or just material happiness. Specifically the performance of bhakti to Sri Krishna. This is the sadhan. By this knowledge, one can understand Jiva Tattva, Maya Tattva, Bhagavat Tattva. What are these three? These are the three vastus. My Gurudev has said that in Jivadhamma there's 40 chapters, and the first chapter out of all those 40 is the most important. It's the first chapter that's discussing Jiva Tattva, Maya Tattva, and Bhagavat Tattva. These three vastus, and what is the relationship? What is the sambandha between the three? What is my relationship with Krishna? What is my relationship with the material energy? What is Krishna's relationship with the material energy? What is Krishna's relationship with the jiva? What is the material nature's relationship with Krishna and the jiva? So these considerations create or establish sambandha gyan. We cannot move forward without this knowledge. Knowledge has to be there. Without this knowledge, there's just vacancy. All the mercy is there, but we have to appreciate how to capture it. What is it that we want? Exactly. And all other tattvas progressively. Ultimately, the unconquerable Sri Krishna is controlled by the Shuddha Bhakti of a devotee. The knowledge of Vidya, which is above all others, is knowledge of the nature of devotion, bhakti. So the answer to the question is knowledge of bhakti. What is the greatest type of knowledge was the question. And apart from Krishna bhakti, there is no other knowledge. Material knowledge, jad vidya, leads to material enjoyment. but that Vidya, which gives knowledge of Vishnu Bhakti, is far superior, and even knowledge of the impersonal Brahman, Brahma Vidya, which is beyond any material knowledge. This is higher. Brahma Vidya is higher than this Jad Vidya. However, even superior to knowledge of Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu Tattva is like Lord Narayan and the Purusha avatars, etc. But knowledge of Krishna Bhakti, this is the supreme. Srimad Bhagavatam supports this Siddhanta in so many places.
Tat karma haritosham yat sa vidya tanmatiryaya.
Srimad Bhagavatam 4, 29, 49. Factual work or karma is that by which one can satisfy Sri Hari. Factual vidya or knowledge is that by which one's mind is absorbed in Bhagavan. Absorbed. Absorption, ultimately 24 hours a day.
Shravanam kirtanam Vishnu smaranam pada sevanam archanam vandanam dasyam sakyam atmanivedanam iti pumsarpita Vishnu bhaktischin navalakshana kriyeta bhagavat adha tan manye aditam uttamam.
Srimad Bhagavatam 7, 5, 23 to 24. Sri Prahlad Maharaj says, the bhakti of Bhagavan Vishnu has 9 limbs: hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving his lotus feet, offering the Lord respectful worship, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, becoming his friend, and surrendering everything unto him. If one performs these 9 limbs of devotion with a mood of surrender, then we should know this to be the topmost knowledge of the scriptures. His cultivation of the scriptures is successful. Remember the question, what is knowledge? What is the topmost knowledge? Ramananda Roy is giving this answer. It is also described here.
Idam hi pumsa tapasa srutasya va svitasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayo avichote artha kavibhir nirupito yat uttama shloka gunanu varnanam.
This is Srimad Bhagavatam 1, 5, 22. This is the conversation between Narad and Vyas. Learned persons accept as the pinnacle of knowledge the very best verses which describe Sri Krishna's qualities and activities. Vyasadeva was despondent, lamenting, because he hadn't described directly the qualities of Krishna and his activities. He described principally Gyan Kand. Therefore, he was feeling despondent at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Narad came and dispelled that despondency. In the following verses spoken between Sriman Mahaprabhu and Sri Ramananda Rai, there is a gradation and comparison between the relative worth of material objects and transcendental objects, as well as a discussion of subject matter affiliated with Golok and Sri Krishna's unmotivated devotional service. It's a gradation. Step by step, we're moving through. The material conception is thus defeated, and the worth of transcendence is established. This is Mahaprabhu's greatest compassion. What is the most glorious act?
Kirti gana madhye jiver kon bada kirti Krishna bhakta baliya yahar haya khyati.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then asked, out of all glorious activities of the jiva, which is the greatest? Sri Ramananda Rai replied, to be called a devotee of Lord Krishna is the topmost glory of the jiva. In the material world, there are many, many glories that may be attributed to a jiva, like wealth, wonderful qualities, intelligence, or fame. However, all such reputation is related to this material body. Upon the body's demise, this fame is destroyed along with it. It's very interesting. If you reach the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 2 chapters with long lists of great, great, glorious kings in the past, and they've just been reduced to a little bit of ink on a page now. These kings were glorious in their time. They had empires, etc. So great was their apparent control. And yet now, historically, they're just simply reduced to some ink on a page. And we get list after list after list after list that Shukadev is enumerating. So this is a fascinating appreciation. How temporary is this reputation and material acclaim and control, etc. The greatest form of fame in this world is therefore to become a premi bhakta, because such fame is directly related to the soul, which is eternal. It's an eternal fame that will be quality, which will be manifested. The soul is unending and eternal. Factually, it is composed of eternality, knowledge, and bliss. Sat Chit Anandamaya. Since the soul is never destroyed, the devotees of Sri Krishna are likewise never destroyed. Devotees of Krishna are just like a boat, and one cannot know how many jivas they shelter and ferry across the ocean of birth and death. The devotees alone secure the qualification to serve their worshipful Lord. Performing such service, they successfully dispel lamentation, illusion, and attachment forever. These are the great anarthas, the great illusions that are covering the conditioned jiva. And that premi bhakti, will be able to dispel this illusion and attachment forever. What a wonderful consideration. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:19-40 says, Vidyatmani bidaha. Knowledge of the soul nullifies duality. Knowledge, we must have knowledge, vidya, the Samvit Shakti. The bliss, the Hladini Shakti cannot manifest until the Samvit Shakti has entered the material mental quantum and then come into the heart region where it mixes with the Hladini. You can't just straight expect to have the bliss of realization without having knowledge of Jiva Tattva, Maya Tattva, Krishna Tattva, etc. To be known as a devotee of Sri Krishna is the greatest fame. It is the Jiva's considered opinion, due to his greed for material objects of sense enjoyment, that service to inert matter constitutes the greatest fame. This is what they consider. Actually, the best position is to be known as a Vishnu Bhakta, which is superior even to the topmost fame within this material world. Remember Alexander the Great. He was a great general. He conquered so many countries and created his empire. And yet, at the time of his death, he ordered his 6 physicians who were there to prolong his life to carry his funeral pyre. What do you call it? Pyre. To carry his funeral pyre, so that all could witness that the doctors could not save him. They had to carry him. He wanted everyone to understand that no one can save us. Everyone must leave this mortal world. No one can save us. This means to be afforded the position of a knower of Brahman. This is actually Brihaspati is described, a knower of Brahman. Yet greater than the glory of being a devotee of Sri Vishnu is to be renowned as a devotee of Sri Krishna. Indra states in Garuda Purana,
Kalau Bhagavatam nama durlabham naiva labhyate Brahma Rudra Pado Kristam Guruna Katitam Mama.
In this age of Kali, it is extremely rare to find one who is celebrated as an excellent devotee or a Bhagavat. However, such a position is superior to that of the major demigods like Brahma and Mahadev. The major demigods don't have access to this pure current of bhakti because their spiritual master, Brihaspati, is described as being Brahman realized. Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, he'll manifest. They'll all think, oh, he's a great, great personality. But they consider the void, empty Brahman, or filled with Shantaras, is actually superior. We see in Indra's case. He begs Krishna forgiveness when he's tried to murder the residents of Braj. And then 2 weeks later, Krishna asked him for a parijat flower. He refuses. So what is their nishta, even towards Vishnu, ultimately? In the Itihasya Samuchaya, in the conversation between Shri Narad and Pundarik, Shri Narad says,
Janmantara sahasreshu yasya syad buddhir idrishi dasoham vasudevasya sarvan lokan samuddaret.
I am Bhagavan's, Vasudev's servant. A person who realizes this after thousands and thousands of births can deliver the entire universe. Wonderful. In the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, as recorded in the Adi Purana, it states, Bhaktanam anugachanti muktaya shrutibir saha. The liberated souls, mukta purushas, and the Vedic literatures follow the footsteps of the devotees of the Lord. Shastra follows the devotees of the Lord. In Brihat Naradiya Purana, it is further stated,
Adyapi cha muni shreshta brahmadya api devataha prabhavam na vijananti Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam.
until today, even the great sages and demigods such as Brahma did not know the influence of a devotee absorbed in Vishnu bhakti, what to speak of Krishna bhakti. The Garuda Purana similarly states,
Brahmanam sahasrebhya satra yaji vishishyate satra yaji sahasrebhya sarva vedanta paraga sarva vedanta vitkotya Vishnu bhakto vishishyate Vaishnavanam sahasrebhya ekant eko vishishyate ekantinastu purusha gachanti paramapadam.
out of thousands of Brahmanas, one who is qualified to perform sacrifices is the best. And out of many thousands of such qualified Brahmanas, one who is learned in the Vedanta is considered the best among all. Out of thousands of such knowledgeable Brahmanas, one who is a devotee of Lord Vishnu is the best. And out of many thousands of devotees of Vishnu, one who is a one-pointed Vaishnava is the best. Indeed, such an unalloyed Vaishnava certainly attains the supreme destination. So we should consider the height of the goal that we are aspiring for. Sometimes the devotees become despondent. They consider that this is so high a path, and here it's been enumerated just how high this path is. We've come through the whole staircase, and now we're hearing about what is knowledge and who is the person who is qualified to take knowledge. Ultimately, the teachings of Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, who gave the mood of devotion through his Bhagavad Gita. Tesham satatam yuktanam braucham piti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. One who worships me constantly with love and devotion, I will give the intelligence by which he can come to me. Every single verse, practically, of this Sri Bhagavad Gita, with the supporting explanations by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, establishing the platform, and then going beyond that faith in Krishna as the Supreme Lord, bringing that conception into Vrindavan of Brajendranandan Shyam Sundar, because there is such a distinction between the two. Parthasarthi Krishna on the battlefield with Arjuna is a different personality. He's the same person, but he's expressing a different quality as Brajendrananda. So through this Ramananda Rai Samvada, we're coming to an even higher conclusion. The very highest, topmost consideration of Brajendrananda and Shyam in Vrindavan. And we are hearing now about the doorway to access service to that realm of Vrindavan through the Anugatya of the Braja Ramanis, the gopis of Vrindavan. This is our pathway. So this is the conclusion, the concluding words of this Ramananda Rai Samvada. And there's many pages here describing and verses accentuating the description of knowledge. What is knowledge? And what is higher? What is higher? We need to understand the different gradations because there are so many levels. If we sit in a room full of 10 or 15 or 20 people, even 3 or 4 people, we appreciate the different degrees of adhikar in each person. It's a very unique situation. But now we're being exposed to the very highest consideration that is possible to achieve. So Sri Ramananda Rai Samvada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol, Gaur Premanande, Hari Haribol, Modern Mohanju Ki Jai, Vancha, Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha.